Hey everyone, Daniel here. Hope you all had a fantastic 4th of July, assuming you're American, and if you are not American and you don't celebrate the 4th of July, happy Monday. I know that's an oxymoron, but still. I apologize for being kind of absent, kind of late with videos. I went on vacation for a week, not of my own volition, let's just say. So I couldn't really do a whole lot of videos. Hope y'all enjoyed that audio-only review of Bloodshot Island Part 1. Still. But one of the things I wanted to make a video about, even though it's kind of old news at this point, but I still want to talk about it because it's relevant to one of my more popular videos, is Hasbro and IDW announcing their brand new crossover event, Revolution. Now, this is an event we've been kind of hearing some rumblings about all the way back when I did my video on the Rom Zero issue that IDW put out. And it's one of those things where, at the time, we didn't really know it was a crossover. It was kind of seemed like that's what was happening, especially since it was between all the Hasbro products and all the Hasbro or action-oriented series. But we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, and at the time, so now we kind of do, and I kind of feel like I called it when I said that they were going to connect it to the Transformers comics, or possibly even build up something with M.A.S.K or Micronauts or some of the other series. As for my thoughts on this event, I'm really excited. I mean, I'm a huge Transformers fan, so I've been reading the Transformers comics that IDW has been putting out. But I'm also kind of a casual fan of series like G.I. Joe and Rom and Micronauts and M.A.S.K and all those, so it's really cool to see them all kind of coalescing. In fact, I've been saying for years that G.I. Joe should just be a part of the Transformers universe. Like, whenever the Transformers needs the military, like, they should just bring in G.I. Joe. Like, back in Revenge of the Fallen, why did they make up Nest when they should have just made it G.I. Joe? I mean, it makes sense. And one of the things I think is going to happen with IDW is that they're doing this in order to really do some new and creative stories, especially with the idea of Or 13 and it affecting books like Micronauts and Rom and Action Man. I think it's a really, really cool idea. Now, some people might say that it's just to tie in with the Hasbro cinematic universe that they've been talking about making, but I think that's a little cynical. Yeah, it's probably the reason they're doing this, but I think this is probably something that was going to happen even if they never intended to make movies of Micronauts and Rom. I will be honest, though, one of the things that does make me question this is because it's centered around the currently ongoing Transformers comics, how is this going to work with some series? Obviously, series like M.A.S.K and Rom can be easily integrated into that universe, but G.I. Joe has been going on for years now at this point. I know they've done different series, and I am definitely not an expert on G.I. Joe. I'm very much a casual fan of G.I. Joe, but it's one of those things where how are they going to reconcile the Joe history with the Transformers history, especially because they've never addressed each other? It's kind of one of those things where, are they going to reboot the Joe continuity into the Transformers stuff? Or is it just going to be like, yeah, well, we just haven't acknowledged them because... I mean, especially with stuff like All Hail Megatron. I mean, that was a pretty big deal where Megatron came in and actually took over the Earth. I mean, that was kind of a big deal.
General Joe Colton used to run a team called the Adventure Team. And back in the old days, there's a guy there who always caused a lot of conflict, a lot of mayhem, you could say. In fact, that's what General Colton called him. He called him Miles Mayhem.
But hey, I mean, I have a lot of trust in John Barber. He's done some great stuff with all of the Hasbro books over there, so I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. And just as a Transformers fan, I'm glad that the Transformers comics are being the linchpin of this crossover and of this universe. They are the big thing, the kind of the flagship title, And that makes sense and is exciting for me because I'm a Transformers fan, and I'm certainly glad that they're not just rebooting everything just to make this new continuity work. They're just expanding the universe, and hopefully this will allow some really good new stories to be told where you're not just restricted to the Transformers, where, you know, they can use characters from G.I. Joe, or from M.A.S.K, or from Action Man, or Rom, and all that kind of stuff. And it's one of those things where I'm really excited to see that, because I think it's full of potential. And that's the thing, the worst thing that can happen is they just ignore the other books. You know, it's like, I'm not worried about this at all. Well, except for one thing. One thing that did give me pause was the fact that they announced that they were going to be renumbering the books. As you know from my Marvel breakup letter video that I did, which you can check out right there, it's one of those things where I'm not really a huge fan of renumbering comics. I think when you have a long-running series, especially as the Transformers books get up to issue, you know, they're in the 50s right now, it's like I wanted to see those books reach 100, especially with like More Than Meets the Eyes, which has just had this huge long-running story. I want to see that happen and reach like a 100 or 200 or however long it keeps going. But at the same time, it's not like they're doing the Marvel thing where they're renumbering it every 6 months or so. And so that's one thing, is like, yes, they're renumbering, and that kind of annoys me, but at the same time, I'm not really worried that this is going to become a habit. Although I will say, it does worry me when there's series like Action Man that just started, or Rom and M.A.S.K that haven't even debuted yet, are those also going to be part of this renumbered? I mean, at that point, Micronauts will probably only be like 6 issues in, I think, and it's like, is it really a point in renumbering it when you've just recently launched it? Not really. So that's kind of one of the things where I don't know if they'll renumber those books or if they'll just keep on going. I mean, Transformers, Till All Are One, that one has just gotten started, and we had to and that's the thing. This is technically like Windblade number 8, because really, I mean, they just canceled the Windblade series and just made it Till All Are One. But at the same time, I'm also the guy who said that they should have renumbered Transformers XRID when they dropped the RID title. So, you know, that's a little bit of a... So I'm glad that they're just kind of starting over a new thing. And I'm glad with Transformers More Than Meets the Eyes that it's not just a reboot, or, you know, and they're going to still be continuing on and starting season 3 of that book. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Overall, I'm actually really excited for IDW's Revolution. I think it's really going to allow the universes and the series to do more with a shared universe than what they could do on their own. I really think this is going to be the more than the sum of its parts, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm kind of thinking I might even do a little look at all of the Revolution books as they come out. So let me know in the comments below if that's something that y'all would be interested in. In the meantime, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, click that big red subscribe button down there. I make new videos, hopefully every Tuesdays and Thursdays, so be sure to never miss another video from me. Anyways, I'll see you all next time, where I don't know what we'll talk about, but we'll talk about something fun. See you then. Roll out.